Well, thanks for taking a drive with me today, Dave.
Well, Damien, I've got to say, a Friday, you're never going to pass this up. A couple of middle-aged guys, roof down. I mean, what can go wrong?
Well, that's all right. I thought you're all about the outdoors, and what better way to enjoy it than in a classic drop-top Mercedes Benz, huh?
Well, it's better than landscaping, I can tell you that.
The reason I chose this car for you is these are the last of the bank vault Mercedes Benz, they call them.
Yeah.
Which, so when you open and close things, they're like a bank vault, right?
Yeah.
And they are solid, they're over-engineered, and I reckon they're a little bit like you and I, Dave. They're solid and dependable.
Well, solid, you got that right.
And how good does it look with the top off as well? But I should clarify, I'm talking about the car,
Yeah.
not us.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
No one wants to see that.
Mate, you do not want to see my top off, trust me.
So, I wanted to chat a little bit about, obviously, we met a long time ago on the block, which I was trying to think when it was, and I think about 2014, wasn't it?
It was 2014. It was Albert Park, and I remember actually coming in, and you did a little outdoor area, and I think that was with some wallpaper there.
Yeah.
And everyone was really blown away with what we saw there, and that was probably the start of Graphico on the block. So
yeah, that was my first season. Exactly right. That was Albert Park season, which I love that season.
I started the block in 2012.
Oh,
so,
right. Okay.
so 2 years later, then along comes Graphico.
There you go. I didn't actually realise that. So that's quite a series then. So I've done about 8 or 9 seasons. You've done what, about 12 seasons?
Yeah,
now?
12. I think we did. There was 1 year there. We did 2 seasons in 1 year.
Yep.
So I think I'm up to this year. Will be like my 13th or 14th season.
Oh, how good is that?
Yeah.
And what's the funniest thing you've had on the block? Like, I've seen some really memorable things. What is there one that sticks out for you?
One time I saw Scotty Camp. He was filming, and actually one of the floorboards was off, and as he's walked through, he fell through the floor.
Oh,
so,
jeez.
Not saying I love seeing people get hurt, but it was one of the funny times. Seeing the contestants cry, seeing them laugh, seeing all that emotional part of it. That's the funniest part I see.
The number one thing that people ask me about working on reality TV is they go, oh, I don't watch it, it's all manufactured. And I just haven't had that experience sort of working behind the scenes. But it's the number one thing that people ask me. Yeah. Like, how do you think about that?
100%. Look, every time I'm speaking with someone, they're always like, oh, come on, they don't do anything. No one does it. It's not done in those days. So I think what people forget, it's not 7 days, it's 6 days. Okay? Because like the only time, I can tell you this is one time I remember working on one of the jobs. I think it was Elwood, right? Yep. And we built a pool in 6 days. I asked Jules Crest, who's the main producer, I said, mate, can we please just get an extra, half a day or something like that? And he looked at me and goes, no problems, you got 1 extra hour. That's as much as I've ever been able to get. Right. So the times are real. Basically, as we always say, is that you get to Wednesday, and if you haven't got everything organised, you've got to start pulling stuff out. Because it's Sunday morning, 9 o'clock, tools down, and mate, that's it, you're done.
And that's a huge challenge of working on it, because sometimes it's just as challenging for the sponsors and the crew and everyone in the behind the scenes as it is for the contestants to get everything done in a week, right?
Yeah. Well, I get anxiety before the block even starts. Okay, so just talking about it, I'm like this.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah, and like
the block crew is a bit like a family. It's the same people again and again. Yeah. So you get friendly with them, and it is a bit of a family atmosphere.
You work with them in really tight spaces, and everyone becomes your friend. But you know what? As I said, I started in 2012, so I've been there a long time now. Yeah. And I hope to keep continuing doing it.
So this car, it has a bit of a funny claim to fame. It was used in the notorious B.I.G. clip, not this actual car, but the same burgundy and cream. It was used in the notorious B.I.G. It's famously driven in reverse by Puff Daddy and notorious B.I.G. whilst being chased by goons in Hummers and motorbikes. So it's got a little bit of a cool connection.
Who's Puff Daddy? And who's notorious B.I.G.?
P. Diddy and notorious B.I.G. I don't know. I'm not sure which one. Well, we're both big guys, so
I'll take notorious.
You are notorious, I suppose, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Do you believe, like, back in the 90s, these sold for about 150 grand plus, when at the time in the 90s, the median house price was about that as well. So these are really special cars back in the day. I've seen all the amazing work that you've done in landscaping and landscaping design, but what got you into this? Like, I don't actually know how you started.
Yeah, look, well, I'm quite old, thanks, Damian. So, but I've been a landscaper. I've been in it for over 30 years. And look, to be honest, I sort of was asked to leave school, which was code for got kicked out of school when I was younger. Okay. Right. And my dad sort of went off at me and said, right, you got to have a job. And back then, you know, if you look at an apprenticeship or a tradesman, and it was like a gift. I would have just been 15 and a half when I'd left school, so quite young. And I did bricklaying for at least sort of 2 years, and as every bricklayer will tell you, once you've laid one brick, you've laid 1,000. My mate did landscaping, that started really taking off, and I actually got into that the really early beginning. Then we realised, hang on a second, we're getting good at this, and we won Landscape of the Year in 1999. That's how long ago, So we won our first award in 1999. We won in year 2000, and we thought, hang on, we've got a business in this.
And that was one of your earlier jobs?
That was one of our earlier jobs in Mont Albert Road in Canterbury there. It does come with this as well, with the business. What I say, I think we made every mistake in the book there. We actually had our Marlow utes. So we had HSV Marlow utes and stuff like that. We thought we were the king shit, right? So, you know, we'd come around and go, look at us, look at us. My accountant said, he goes, well done, boys. He goes, you guys have even invented ways how to lose money. So we didn't make any money. We spent it all. And we were living off $2 hot dogs from the 7-Eleven. But we got better at landscaping. We stayed in it. We loved it. And we went on to be quite a successful business. Honestly, that's what gets you up out of bed. You know?
So you're all over the screens. We've seen you on your latest show, just watching that last night actually, your latest show with Lisa McCune. That's great. What's on for the rest of the year? Yeah, so
we start filming Australia's Best Pools actually on the second week of January. So that'll be a third season of that.
So how many shows were you involved in 2023?
4.
4 shows?
Yeah, 4. So I ended up doing the pool show, Australia's Best Pools, and did Open Homes Australia. So I hosted the landscaping section of that. Did the block, and I did the garden hustle. So it started with the block, you know, and then it's ended up being like this. You know, I love doing it. I love telling the story, as you know. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm a talker, obviously. So, but
well, it's absolutely. I mean, you've got the passion, you've got the drive. You're obviously great in front of the camera as well, and that's why people love you. Well, that's been a great drive, Dave. Thanks so much for driving with me today. It's so good to hear about you and your life and where you've started from. Thank you.
Mate, thank you, mate. Now, if you can take me back to Bayside, mate, that'll be great.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All right,
on the way, mate.
I'm going to have to put the meter on though, okay?